A rivalry renewed at the world's most famous arena on January 11th. Two of the most storied college hockey programs will go head-to-head at Madison Square Garden in this inaugural showdown. Coming up, you'll hear from the players, coaches, and alums who are gearing up for this historic and fierce rivalry on ice.
D'Agostino later, in front of the net and in!
Hi everyone and welcome to the great city of New York and Madison Square Garden, the home of the inaugural Rivalry on Ice. I'm Harry Chickma. History will be set here on January 11th as the defending national champions from Yale University will be going up against their arch rivals from Harvard University. Now the Crimson were the last team from the Ivy League to win a national title prior to Yale, and needless to say, both programs are grateful for this upcoming matchup and the chance to play in front of a national audience.
Stands on a pass, shot taken, and they score. 2-1 Yale. So now Harvard comes the other way. 3-2. Shot taken and score.
Obviously, Harvard-Yale's always been a big game since the two schools started a long time ago. Football, hockey, every sport, our biggest rival, and I think it only adds to it the fact that we've been so close in recent years. Obviously, playing Harvard it's going to be really cool. I'm sure we have a really big alumni contingent for both schools in the city, so I'm sure it'll be a good turnout, and it's going to be a fun night for Yale hockey.
You know, it's a game in the middle of January, the second half of the year. You're going into your last month. After this, you're going into your last month and a half of the league regular season into the playoffs. It's just a game that you can kind of, if you come out with a win, you can gain some momentum and carry that into the rest of the regular season as you're battling for playoff positioning and then hopefully into the playoffs.
Lots of guys who came up to me, they're excited. It's winter break, so they're going to be able to come out and watch it. They're definitely rooting for us. It's kind of got that on par with the Yale-Harvard bowl game here. It's hosted here this year, so the fact that we get to do that is going to be awesome.
I think it's a big stage. It's going to be on national TV, and it's a little bit added pressure, so I think everyone on the team is going to find out a lot about themselves, and we're going to find out a lot about our team playing on such a big stage against the defending national champions.
Playing each other in New York City is nothing new for Yale and Harvard. In fact, the first 17 games of their historic rivalry were played in the Big Apple, beginning in 1900. Back in 1919, they played a game in Brooklyn, and in 1970, they competed at Madison Square Garden in the old ECAC Holiday Festival. That night belonged to the Crimson, as Harvard prevailed over Yale 6-2.
MSG is a historical arena. Grew up going to games there, going to concerts, different events. It's a great venue, and obviously it's an honor to play there.
It's going to be a lot of fun. First, you have to take it in. Playing there where, so many greats have played. Just great events have been held. It's going to be a lot of fun for everybody playing, but hopefully the first shift we'll be able to get our nerves out and just focus on the game itself because it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, no, it's obviously going to be a real special night for me. Both my parents are from Staten Island, so growing up a Ranger fan certainly has its ups and downs being a Ranger fan, but it's a building I would love to go to, and there's really no building that produces the energy that the Garden does, especially during playoff time, and to play in that building is going to be a special night for sure.
I mean, it's awesome. I've never played there before. I've grown up watching games. I'm from upstate New York, so just growing up watching Ranger games, Knick games, Big East tournament basketball games, and I know there's just so many great events that have taken place there. It's just going to be really cool to get a chance to play there myself.
Oh, it's awesome. I'm sure I'll have a lot of family there and a lot of friends, so it'll make it even better to play there. Like I said, I'm 40 minutes outside New York, and we go there for day trips and for nights, and it's a great place.
Harvard coach Ted Donato experienced the magic of Madison Square Garden while playing in the NHL for the Bruins, Islanders, and New York Rangers. And the Crimson players expect those accolades from their coach to help guide them against Yale during the rivalry on ice.
Just to have him in the locker room every day at practice and stuff like that, you can really learn a lot. He played over 10 years in the NHL and also played 4 years at Harvard, which I think is pretty invaluable to the player. So I think, when he speaks, everyone listens, and we know that we can learn a lot from him.
I think his experience, just in the NHL and where he's been helps us in every game. Just his experience on the ice and off the ice, how he's dealt with so many situations. He's always coaching us in little ways, on the bench. Just explaining, keep making sure we stay calm most of the time, because he's seen it all. No matter if we have a good start or a bad start, he's always, making sure we stick to our game plan.
Head coach Keith Elaine has also experienced Madison Square Garden at the professional level when he coached the Blues and the Capitals, and the Bulldogs hope that experience helps them against Harvard.
Yeah, obviously he's been in the big situations and he knows what to do and who to play out, so I think that really helps for us, trusting him on what line combinations, what players to put out in certain situations that are going to perform at best for our team.
His hockey resume is unbelievable, and the amount of respect that guys have for him in the locker room is great. And he's such an easy guy to talk to. I know he sort of has a very serious persona on the bench and when he's in front of the media, but he really is a guy that's willing to help any player with anything. And certainly something like this, he'll treat this like any other game, and it'll be good for us to get that feeling from him.
Coach Lane's a great coach. He's shown that over the past years, and obviously has a ton of experience, and he'll pass that down to us and give us a boost going into that game.
My emotions would be excitement, pure excitement, I'd say. Playing against Harvard is always a great game, a huge rivalry for us, and not to mention Madison Square Gardens. It's pure excitement for us, and we're looking forward to it.
Time for a quick break here on this Rivalry on Ice preview show, but stick around, there's much more coming up after these brief messages. A great game coming up, the Rivalry on Ice. I'm Harry Chickma alongside the head coach for the Harvard Crimson, Ted Donato. What a great matchup here, taking on your rival, the former national champion. What do you think about this matchup at MSG?
Well, I think it's a great matchup. Obviously, Yale coming off the national championship, and just the history of the game. Both programs have a long, proud, rich tradition, and to play it, the world's most famous arena at Madison Square Garden should be an excellent game and just a tremendous event.
What is so historic about this matchup with Harvard taking on Yale?
Well, I think if you look back at the history of the schools and what they represent, and the history of the hockey programs, I think they're both places that have a great deal of pride in what they provide. From an educational standpoint, and there's a lot of proud alums, and I think it's really, as college sports put in perspective, I think we really appreciate the both schools really appreciate the idea of great student athletes, and to play Yale at Madison Square Garden, and both teams, I think, will be very excited. Won't have to get anybody pumped up for this one.
How can a win over the former national champion, or I should say the reigning national champion, how can that help your team this year, doing it on national TV in the world's most famous arena?
Well, they've been an excellent team over the last several years, so we know that we'll have to be at our best, and I think it's definitely a statement game. We know that it's not every day you get to play in Madison Square Garden, and this event, with all the history, with the 25th anniversary of Harvard's last national championship as well, it should just be a great event, not only for the players but for the fans alike.
And how do you like your chances against this team? I mean, you guys are playing well, you're a young team, but what's it going to take to beat Yale?
Well, I think we'll have to play our best. They play an up-tempo style. That's the way we want to play. We want to push the offense. We want to get everybody involved, and I think it should be a very entertaining game. Both teams like to get after it and play fast, and should be a lot of offense.
You played for the Boston Bruins, you played for the Islanders, you've played for the Rangers at MSG. Tell me what it's going to feel like to go back to Madison Square Garden for you personally.
Well, I think it'll be great. I mean, obviously, the venue with its new renovation should be exciting to see, and I just think it's such a great experience for our players to play in New York City. Both schools have huge alumni networks down there, so it should be a great spot to showcase one of college sports' most storied rivalries.
When Harvard and Yale play on the ice, it's pretty special. It's a different type of feeling. I was at your game last year in New Haven. What makes it so special when you take on the Bulldogs?
Well, I think they are the big rival in all the sports, all the way across the board. Obviously, football with the game that's Harvard and Yale, and so in the Ivy League, these are two of the great old rivals, and and on the ice it's no different. So I think both teams want to put out their best foot forward here in a great venue and in a great city. So it should be a lot of fun.
Head coach Ted Donato, best of luck. Thanks for joining us on this preview show.
Thank you very much.
You heard it from the coach of Harvard, a big battle coming up at MSG. Time for a quick break here on this Rivalry on Ice preview show. But stick around, there's much more coming up after these brief messages. Hi everyone and welcome back to Madison Square Garden and this Rivalry on Ice preview show. I'm Harry Chickma. The history and tradition on every Ivy League campus are second to none. And when Harvard and Yale battle in hockey, the entire sports world takes note. There's no question these teams get so much respect as a result of their national championships. And when they compete here at the world's most famous arena, the stakes will be riding high.
Harvard taking advantage of a turnover. Nice pass to the left side and in!
Yale-Harvard rivalry, it's been around for over 100 years now.
D'Agostino later. In front of the net and in!
It's one of the longest rivalries in college hockey.
Slaps up on the point, and they score!
Yeah, playing Yale, I mean, you try to look at all the games like it's just 2 points, just another league game, but the Yale, that's something that every year you circle on the schedule. That game means a little bit more. Means a little more to the other people at the school, the Harvard students that may have not be the biggest hockey fans. It's a rivalry game.
I mean, every game we play is a big game schedule, in conference, out of conference, but you could feel it when you're playing Yale. It's a little different. You can feel the rivalries there.
I'd have to say the history. It's been around for so long, but it's just you come here. I wasn't rivaled with them at all, but to come here and it's just the history, the years, it goes back for a couple hundred years. The fact that it's that old, that you don't want to let it down. It's kind of for the alumni. You're playing for everybody who's gone to Yale before you.
While this classic rivalry has lasted for more than a century, Harvard has held the upper hand with a 140, 81, and 18 all-time record.
I mean, every time you play them, you get up. You know when you're playing Yale. You know what they're going to bring. The energy. The older guys kind of need to lead the younger guys in explaining what the rivalry really means. It's going to be huge.
Harvard and Yale are regarded as two of the premier academic universities in the country, and both programs have also produced dozens of NHL players. The Bulldogs have sent 14 players to the pros, and Harvard has guided 25 to the world's greatest hockey league.
We both have the argument that you get the best of both worlds playing college hockey at Yale and Harvard, with the second to none education and playing at the top level of college hockey. And it's a rivalry. I think it's 113 years old, so it's got some history behind it.
The rivalry is huge. A few years ago, the year before I came, Harvard beat Yale in a big postseason series in 3 games. And I think every time we play Yale, it's a gritty and fast-paced game. So
it's a great way to showcase the Ivy League, and a great Ivy League matchup. It's just a great rivalry within the school academically and athletically. We have like the Harvard-Yale game here, in there every 2 years. For football, it's always a big event, and I think this game should be just as big.
Last year, Yale swept Harvard in their only 2 meetings of the season, going on to win the national title, something that has haunted the Crimson players ever since.
Yeah, to be honest, like when last year I saw him winning national championship, I kind of take it personally.
Wasn't something that we wanted to see, obviously, and knowing, I mean, in the past that we've taken it to them, and you know, it goes back and forth every year, knowing that it could have been us is kind of tough to swallow.
You watch a team like Minnesota, North Dakota win, it's like, obviously that hurts, but watching a team win that's so close to home, like that you play every year twice, that you have a rivalry with, that kind of hurts even more. So we're looking to get back and beat them, because that would mean a lot, especially on the national stage. Yeah, it's still, you know, 6-7 months later, it's still hard to put into words just how special that run was. And you know, they always say championship teams are playing their best hockey at the right time, and we were playing our best hockey, and you know, the run that we went on was something I'll certainly remember forever, and it's a tribute to the coaching staff, and you know, the support that we got from our school was unbelievable.
Yeah, I think every kid growing up wants to win a national title. We all dream about that. So now that we've won it, though, we want to go back and win another one. So that's kind of the viewpoint we've been taking, is we've tasted the glory of it, and now we want to get that again this year.
Harvard and Yale have each won their own respective NCAA national championship. Consequently, in 1930, these 2 original Ivies actually competed for what was then known as the Intercollegiate Championship at the legendary Boston Garden. Both teams shared the title when the final game of their championship series ended in a 2-all tie.
You think about all the great players and all the great teams that have you know, been here at Harvard, the national championship in '89, and it's just, you know, it's an honor to be able to be a part of that and be a part of the history of Harvard hockey.
It's tough to bear almost that you know, you have all the tradition of the years past, you know, over 300 years the school's been around, and all the greats that have come before you, and you're kind of carrying on that legacy of all the great people. So, you know, it's a tough burden to bear, but at the same time, it's a great accomplishment and great opportunity for us to, you know, represent all those that came before us.
I mean, one of the reasons I chose to come here is because of the history of the school. Dates back so far. I mean, the tradition of excellence is just, you know, it dates back forever. Everything they do here, they want to do great, and you know, it doesn't stop with the hockey team.
We're here with the coach of the Yale University Bulldogs, the defending national champions, Keith Elaine, and so much excitement right now. You're taking on your arch rivals, Harvard University, at Madison Square Garden. Tell me what emotions you get knowing that you're going into the world's most famous arena with your team.
Well, first of all, it's always a great game when we play Harvard. You know, our players know their players, our coaching staffs know each other, our alums know their alums. They work together, they work at rival firms, so it's always a fun matchup. And then to go back to Madison Square Garden, it's been a long time for me. You know, it's one of the most storied buildings in sports, and I think it's a great opportunity for our guys to play in that kind of a venue.
And you coached at the NHL pro level for Washington and St. Louis, so you've coached at Madison Square Garden. What's it going to be like being a college coach there with Yale at MSG?
Well, I think, you know, coaching's coaching, so but it'll be exciting. It's always been a great building for me to go back to. I know they've done some amazing renovations to it, so I'm sure the bench will have a little bit more space than it did. We'll be on the visiting team bench again, and I can remember that old visiting team bench kind of narrowed off at the end, but we're really looking forward to it.
Winning that national title must have been absolutely amazing, and what it did for Yale and the whole community. How do you think an event like this is a nice way to back that up? You go from winning the title to being at MSG. It's a pretty special couple months.
Yeah, it is really special, and you know, we want our kids to experience these kind of things. We'd like them to get to the national tournament and play in these venues, and I think it's great for our guys to go to New York City. To play hopefully in front of thousands and thousands of alums, people that don't maybe get to see us play on a regular basis. So it's one of those moments that makes a hockey season special.
Now, playing Harvard, when you guys are on the ice, it feels a little different. All the players are telling me that it just feels like a little bit of a different game. How do you calm your team down? What do you tell them to be ready for a game like this?
Yeah, I mean, it is different, but at the same time, you know, our league is so tough. All 11 teams battle you hard, and I think that because our league is so tough and every game is such a big game, that we're ready for it by the time we play Harvard.
And final question for me here. Winning a game like this, how can it help you moving forward after the game?
Well, every win's important, and I think Harvard's going to be a very good team this year, and because it's a non-conference game, we're looking to gain in the RPI, which are the national rankings, and I think a win over Harvard at Madison Square Garden will certainly help us along that way.
Coach Keith Delane, thanks for joining us. Best of luck at the Garden.
Thank you, Harry. My pleasure.
Big battle coming up, Harvard versus Yale, and the rivalry on ice. Time for a quick break here on this Rivalry on Ice preview show, but stick around, there's much more coming up after these brief messages. The Bulldogs and Crimson's rivalry goes well beyond the classrooms and the athletic fields. We had an opportunity to speak with a few Harvard and Yale fans to ask them what they think about this rich tradition.
Go Harvard! Go Bulldogs! Harvard's won a lot in the past. It's a great rivalry, good game to watch. Definitely going to be there.
We think it's great. We love it.
We love the rivalry. Obviously, we're always going to come out on top. Go Harvard.
Why do you think Yale's a better school, just in sports in general?
We got the better athletes, better coaching, and better social life, of course.
Harvard's better because of their better athletics, better academics, great atmosphere, good location in Boston, just everything.
Sounds like you have an opinion. What makes Yale so great against Harvard?
The social life and the people. We are street smart and school smart, and architecture-wise, by far is the better.
It's a rivalry that's been going on for a long, long time. It's very exciting, and it's exciting to watch the game.
I think it's a fantastic rivalry. I think it's great that it's, two academic schools that can also have fun in a sporting environment.
Well, we believe it's going to create a lot of visibility for Turkish Airlines, and Turkish Airlines is increasing its footprint in the United States, and we see this as a very good opportunity to achieve this objective.
And the rivalry with Harvard and Yale, what's special, what's appealing about that for Turkish Airlines?
I mean, it's talk about a rivalry. It's as historic as it can get, and we are so proud to be a part of this. It's a tradition. It's an old tradition. It's a very respected tradition, and it's so exciting for Turkish Airlines to be a part of this.
Well, indeed, it will be a great matchup here at the world's most famous arena. And that wraps up our Rivalry on Ice preview show. For the rest of the staff, I'm Harry Chickma. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you at the Garden.